Okay, let's dive into something truly intense today. We're taking a deep plunge into a set of sources called Film des Lebens, the Film of Life. And this is, well, it's not just a standard book, it's part memoir, very raw from the narrator, Daniel, or ICH as he calls himself. And it's also part like philosophical manifesto. It digs into synchronicity, toxic relationships, and a pretty radical theory of consciousness.
It really grabs you from the start, doesn't it? Because of the vulnerability. I mean, it opens with this dedication, almost an apology to his daughters, Lila and Amelia. He's expressing just deep regret for past mistakes, past failures. And that immediately signals, this isn't just some abstract idea. This is someone recording a, frankly, desperate journey of transformation.
Yeah, desperate is a good word. And he doesn't sugarcoat who he used to be. He calls himself a human cocktail of megalomania and panic attack. Wild description, stuck in this, what does he call it? A Blair in a Luke, like a heavy lead in a loop.
A leaden loop, just work, routine, these bad habits, until life basically started sending these really loud signals he couldn't ignore anymore.
Yeah, like hitting him with a 2x4, basically.
Pretty much. And the sources make it clear that Shift, well, it wasn't really a choice by the end. He was at rock bottom. His old life, just chaos, isolation. He talks about being in free fall, just completely letting go of the steering wheel.
And the specifics are painful, the betrayals he lists.
Oh, yeah. Deceit from his own family, his father, his brother, and friends, like this character Futter, who sounds like the classic energy vampire, only calls when they need something, never gives back.
Right. That story where he realizes his brother and sister-in-law helped him just enough to give him, what's the term? An arch tit.
Yeah, kick in the butt.
Right before he could actually move in with them. I mean, that just sums up the toxicity he was swimming in. It wasn't just chaos around him. He was sort of letting it happen, allowing himself to be used.
Exactly. And drowning in the mess that created. So that realization leads to this really radical, almost surgical decision he makes towards emotional efficiency.
He coins that amazing phrase for those draining people, Lebensraub.
Lebensraub. Life robbery.
It's so potent.
It is. He basically decides that even engaging with these people is stealing his most valuable assets. His time, his energy.
So his solution wasn't complicated, really. It was just radical subtraction. He just cut almost everyone off, isolated himself from all that noise, and focused entirely on stability, like the new job, the new apartment, and only connecting with a tiny handful of people he considered, real. His boss, Martina, and Nasira.
Yeah, he stopped trying to justify himself or explain. He just, like you said, changed the channel. He tuned out the static.
And that act of subtraction, that tuning out, seems like the first real step in consciously changing his frequency, his vibration.
Absolutely. And it wasn't quick or easy. The sources stress that. It was a painful, deliberate choice. He had this little mantra, right, on a magnet.
Oh, yeah. Nicht stressen wird schon.
Don't stress, it'll be all right. Like a daily reminder to just let go of the drama, surrender to the fight.
And you see the payoff almost immediately. That change in frequency, there's that story on the job site. The apartment owner starts screaming at him about dust on his car.
Right, really aggressive.
And the old Daniel, the cocktail of megalomania and panic attack.
Oh, he would have escalated that for sure. Fists flying, probably.
But the new Daniel.
He just stands there, calmly.
Yeah.
Turns his machine back on, keeps working.
He prioritizes the job, the stability he's building over getting into it. And he notes that decision, that refusal to verkacken it, to mess things up. That felt like a huge win.
A massive victory. Choosing that quiet satisfaction, Zufriedenheit, over ego, over proving a point.
That's really the core of this first part, isn't it? For him, walking away from a fight like that is a bigger success than, I don't know, some big promotion. It shows he's actually started to tune that internal antenna he talks about.
Exactly. Which brings us perfectly into the next phase. Because once that static, the Lebensraub, was cleared, well, that's when he started noticing things. These cosmic winks, he calls them.
Right. He says he's stopped believing in Hector Zufall real coincidence.
Yeah, he's convinced the universe or fate, whatever you want to call it, is constantly sending signals. You just had to be tuned in.
Okay, but here's where, you gotta ask. The human brain loves patterns. We're wired for it. So when he starts seeing specific numbers like 19.2 or 18.48 right after talking about them, isn't that just classic confirmation bias? How does the source material address that very natural skepticism?
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
And it's crucial. The source tackles it by suggesting it's more than just patterns. Daniel argues that if it were only confirmation bias, the signs wouldn't hit with such, well, emotional weight or that feeling of intensity. He talks about it feeling like Dauerfeuer from the cosmos, like continuous fire, constant signals.
Okay, so give us an example that feels deeper than just seeing a number on a clock.
Well, the really profound ones often involve people who've passed away, particularly his mother. He mentions talking about her and then immediately seeing her death date, June 15th, on a license plate. On a common car, sure, but the date is just
Oh,
there, unmistakable.
wow.
And then there's that really strange digital thing. Finding his mother captured on Google Street View near where she worked, and then just down the road, 100 meters or so, another family friend's deceased father was also captured. Like this weird linked digital memorial.
That is bizarre. You couldn't plan that.
Exactly. And then the butterflies.
Hmm.
That's the one that seems to really convince him this isn't random noise.
Tell us about that one.
He's totally drained, physically exhausted after work. He's sitting on a bench. It's March.
Okay, not butterfly season, generally.
Definitely not. And two butterflies appear, circle around him for a bit, and then fly off. He sees that as this really direct, profound message, like fate intervening precisely when he was at his lowest energy point.
So, okay, if he's arguing it's not magic, and maybe not just confirmation bias, how does it work? You mentioned frequency earlier. Let's unpack that. How does he define it? It feels like the bridge here.
It is the bridge. He basically frames it using simple physics concepts. Frequency, and resonance. He says you are the receiver, the empfänger, or the antenna, the antenne. Think of your emotional state, your focus, your internal world as the tuning knob on a radio.
Okay.
If you're surrounded by noise, the toxic people, the self-doubt, or if you metaphorically put in earplugs, you just get static. You can't pick up the signal.
So by clearing out the Lebensraum, the life rubbery, he was essentially cleaning his antenna, tuning his frequency.
Exactly. He tuned into a calmer, clearer channel. The signals, he argues, were probably always there, but only the clear antenna, the tuned receiver, could pick them up again. And this whole process, he says, is like a boot camp for your attention for Merksumke.
Wow. That leads us straight into the biggest twist, the real meta-level stuff in these sources. Because the text isn't just documenting his personal growth, it starts questioning reality itself. It claims the whole thing, even reading the book, is designed to wake the reader up too.
Yeah, this is where it gets really deep, philosophically. The source actually references theories suggesting the brain isn't the generator of consciousness. It's more like a filter or a receiver.
A receiver?
Yeah, Andy is aften etwas grosseres, tapped into something larger, a bigger field of consciousness. And the implication is just staggering. What we see is interpretation, a picture that our brain constructs.
So the external world is just a reflection of our internal filter settings.
That's the argument. It's a reflection of your internal state, how that filter is currently tuned.
That sounds kind of terrifying, actually, if my reality is just my interpretation.
Yep.
What about my inner world? He mentions the cathedral of thoughts, right? What's that about?
The Kathedral der Gedanken. It's the internal architecture, he says, that you build yourself, brick by metaphorical brick, with every single doubt, every assumption, every thought you allow yourself to dwell on.
So if you fill that cathedral with fear or cynicism...
Your filter projects a world of fear and cynicism. That's the idea. And the ultimate penny drop moment for Daniel, at the end of his narrative loop, is this realization: you are not in the film. The film is in you.
Whoa. Okay, the film is in you, and therefore, you are the creator. You are the architect.
Precisely.
But wait, if every past doubt, every negative thought helped build the walls of that cathedral, how do you renovate? You can't just wish it away, can you?
You can't just wish it away. You have to manage the architecture. And you do that, according to the source, by confronting the part of you that built the faulty structures. He personifies this part as Skippy.
Skippy, okay.
Skippy's the archetypal double, the inner saboteur, the spoiler self. It's the part that always looks for the shortcut, that avoids the hard work of paying attention, that lacks Geduld patience.
Huh. I think we all have a Skippy. That little voice saying, oh, just skim it, or don't have that awkward conversation, just avoid it.
Totally. Skippy wants the easy way out, wants to bypass the actual growth. But the text, or the internal voices guiding Daniel, they kind of mock Skippy's attempts. They insist the only way is the long way, the unfiltered path.
Yeah.
Confronting Skippy is necessary because it makes that internal conflict something tangible, something you can actually grapple with.
Okay, so the mandate then for Daniel, and maybe for us the listeners, it comes out of this confrontation. What are the practical steps? What do these internal voices say you actually need to do to get this awareness, to break the loop?
Well, they sound deceptively simple, but they require real commitment. Radical commitment, even. Basically, listen to your gut. That's the clear signal from your true frequency. Avoid people who make you feel stupid. That's the Lebens again. Stay away from the static.
Makes sense.
Stay committed to the long road. No shortcuts. And crucially, show patience. Geduld. You can't be the impatient fisherman, the angler, just casting your line wildly into the weeds, hoping for a miracle catch. You have to wait, tune your frequency, and trust that the right things will resonate and come to you.
So circling all the way back, he started as this self-described wreck, drowning in family drama, self-pity, ready to punch someone over dust. And he transforms, not by getting rich or famous, but by fundamentally changing his internal frequency, by becoming the architect of his own inner space. He says the present is valuable precisely because I created it myself.
It's that complete journey from the wreck, to act, meaning real, authentic. And the real win wasn't fixing all the external drama, necessarily. It was finding that quiet, deep satisfaction, the Zufriedenheit. By cutting the noise and starting to trust those subtle signals the universe was sending, once his antenna was finally clear enough to receive them.
So the ultimate takeaway seems to be about the power of attention, where you choose to place it. The source keeps hammering this point. You're not just passively experiencing reality, you're actively filtering it, maybe even creating it, based on the design of that internal cathedral.
Exactly. And that leads directly to the final thought in the material, which is really quite profound. It challenges you, the listener, the reader, directly. It says, you are not just the reader. You are the material this chapter is made of.
Wow.
So if reality is like a customizable filter and you are the architect of your inner world, it leaves you with this question: what new element, what potential that's currently just dormant? What will you choose to bring into existence simply by tuning your frequency and deciding where to place your attention? What film will you decide to live in?